The Dominar. It was Bajaj's most powerful, feature-rich and expensive motorcycle when it went on sale a few years back. As expected, a lot was riding on its shoulder. Unfortunately for Bajaj, it never took off in terms of sales. Bajaj though hasn't thrown in the towel yet. In fact, it has put in some serious effort in upgrading its flagship motorcycle. So what are these new changes? Well, here are 5 things that you need to know about the 2019 Bajaj Dominar. One, there are some key mechanical changes. While displacement remains identical to the older motor, the new engine features a dual overhead cam, and this has resulted in an increment of 5 PS in power. Torque figure remains identical at 35 Nm, but now it is made at 500 RPM higher. Now this motor isn't BS6 compliant, but Bajaj claims that it needs a bit of reworking to meet the upcoming emission norms. Other major hardware update is the inclusion of 43 mm upside down fork, which is the same thickness as the telescopic fork seen on the older bike. The Endurance Source upside down fork is the same open cartridge type unit as seen on the newer KTM 390 Duke. While the braking kit remains untouched, the calipers have been radially mounted just like the KTM's. 2. The performance has gone up. The 5 PS bump in power can be felt immediately, and the new Dominar is definitely quicker than the older bike. Bajaj claims that this bike does the 0 to 100 run 0.7 seconds quicker than the older bike, and top speed is at 156 km per hour. It also has a very strong mid-range, and you can do 100 km per hour in 4th gear itself. And talking about exhaust note, the new bike sounds bassy and throatier. 3. Performance aside, the bike does feel different to ride. One of the major drawbacks that I found on the old Dominar 400 was its lack of refinement. Bajaj engineers have really worked hard on this aspect, and the result can be easily seen on the new Dominar, as it is much more refined than the older bike. Talking about cruising speeds, the new Dominar 400 does 100 kph easily. In fact, it even manages 120 kph rather easily. Beyond that, vibes do seep in closer to the red line. So as you can see, the new Dominar is a much relaxed motorcycle on the highway. The 6-speed gearbox performs well, and the clutch action is also lighter compared to the older bike. The rider triangle on the new Dominar is similar to the older bike, and the rider sits a bit canted forward. Seat height is 800 mm, which is easily accessible. I am 5 feet 10 inch tall, and I have no problems on the Dominar. In fact, even shorter riders won't find it difficult. The Dominar has always been on the heavier side. In fact, the new motorcycle is 2 kg heavier. However, while riding, it masks its weight rather well. But while pushing the bike in parking, it takes some effort. Ride quality was a sore point of the older bike. So have the changes made any difference? Well, overall ride quality has improved, but it still feels inadequate. Bajaj has revised the spring rate of the monoshock, but it still runs a bit stiff and does transmit most of the bumps to your back. The upside down forks though do a much better job of damping. The perimeter frame and the steering geometry is same as the older bike, but with the addition of upside down fork, the Dominar tips into corner easily and feels confident around sweeping bends. The new Dominar gets readily mounted calipers which offer good bite, but the lever action feels spongy and lacks feedback. 4. Looks same, but it is different. The new motorcycle looks identical to its predecessor, which isn't a bad thing because the Dominar has always been a handsome looking motorcycle. The biggest difference is the upside down fork, which gives this motorcycle a power cruiser stance. Another interesting addition on the new Dominar is the inclusion of the twin instrument cluster. The first one is a conventional unit as seen on the older bike, but it now gets a real-time and average fuel efficiency information along with a side stand indicator. The secondary console is placed on the tank and displays information like gear position indicator, clock, 2-trip meters and odometer. However, it isn't in the rider's field of vision. Other changes include a new dual-barrel muffler, wider mirrors with forged aluminum stocks and a sporty looking tank pad. Also, the Dominar logo on the seat is a neat addition. The new bike also gets nylon loops to strap your luggage, and the diamond cut alloy wheels are similar to the ones as seen on the older bike. 5. It should still be a good value for money proposition. Bajaj hasn't shared pricing for the new Dominar, but we expect it to carry a premium of Rs 20,000, which is fair. With this new update, Bajaj has ironed out most of the issues associated with the older bike. In fact, we feel Bajaj should have launched the Dominar in this exact spec back in 2017. Well, better late than never. The new bike is a much better motorcycle on the highway, and if you're in a hunt for a touring bike under Rs 2 lakh, the new Dominar 400 makes good sense.